Miniature maps. Maps are a special kind of picture which shows where things are. They show the landscape as if you were looking down from the air. This is called an aerial view. In this activity, we are going to be learning about how maps are made and have a go at making and using maps of our own. You have an activity sheet to work through. As you watch this video, try to use the information you hear to answer the questions. You can pause and rewind as many times as you like. People use maps to find their way to new places. If your family are going on a journey to somewhere you have never been before, your parents might use a map to plan how to get there. We can also use maps to find out about places that are far away. In stories, pirates use maps to show where buried treasure is hidden. People who make maps are called cartographers. Cartographers use aerial photographs taken from aeroplanes, drones, or satellites to help them draw maps. They use different colours and symbols to represent real-life features, like trees, buildings, and roads. The symbols and colours that the cartographer uses are explained in a table next to the map, called a key. Can you see what symbol this cartographer has used for a forest? Using different colours and symbols helps the cartographer to draw our attention to important features, which we might not be able to see on a photograph. Look at the photograph here and the map showing the same area. You've got copies of both of these pictures on your activity sheets. Can you see the shapes that look like a capital letter H on the map? This is the symbol the cartographer has used for a bench. If you look very closely at the aerial photograph, you can just about see the benches. They are much easier to see on the map. What else do you notice that is different between the photograph and the map? On your activity sheet, you have a key for the map that we have just looked at, but some of the information is missing. Can you fill in the gaps to show what the colours and symbols mean? Now it's time to go outside. You'll need a copy of the Miniature Maps activity sheet, some coloured pens or pencils, a small doll or action figure, and when you get outside, look for 4 long straight sticks and a collection of interesting natural objects. Activity 1. Making a map. So here we are outside and ready to have a go at drawing our map. Now we already know that maps are the kind of view that you might get from above, up in an aeroplane or a helicopter. We call it an aerial view. Now unfortunately we can't go up in a helicopter today to draw our maps, so what we're going to do is make miniature maps of miniature landscapes that we've created ourselves. And I've got everything I need here. I've got my activity sheet on a clipboard there. I've got a pencil case with plenty of coloured pens and pencils in it. I've got 4 nice straight sticks, and I've got a collection of interesting natural objects that I'm going to use. Now the first thing I'm going to do is make my landscape, and I'm going to put it inside a square frame to match the frame on our activity sheet. So I'll move those bits to one side. Here we go. That stick can stay there. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's my frame. Now I'm going to start to place my object inside to make the landscape. So I've got my nice big stick there, that can go in that corner. I think I'll put my feather next up here in this corner. Got an interesting stone there, that can go in the corner there. Got my pine cone, I'll put that in that corner. And then right in the middle, I'm going to put my conker. Now I'm going to draw my map. Now if you're doing this, you can actually stand up and look down on your landscape to get that aerial view. There's my activity sheet. I'm going to use a nice big thick pen so that you can see what I'm doing, and I'm going to start by drawing my big stick there. So I'm just drawing the outline shape of it as it looks from above. So there it is in that bottom corner of my frame. Once I've done that, I'm going to do the same for all the rest of my objects, and then I can colour them in. So now I've finished my miniature map, and I wanted to show you the map next to the landscape, and I'm showing you the aerial view so that you can see how they match up in real life. There's my big stick, and there it is on my map. There's my feather in the real landscape, and you can see I've drawn it in the same place on the map. My interesting stone is in the top corner, and there it is on the map. And my conker is in the middle, and it matches on the map. there's my pine cone in real life. Now, I'm not very good at drawing, so my pine cone on my map doesn't look very much like a real pine cone. It's more like a symbol that cartographers use, and in my key at the bottom I've drawn the symbol and written the meaning. I've coloured the background of my map in green to match the grass, and you can see I've put that in my key as well. Now it's your turn. Have a go and see if you can draw a miniature map of your own. Activity 2. Using a map. Now we've made our maps, it's time to use them to go on a journey. Now of course we're too big to go for a journey in this landscape, so instead I'm going to take my little Lego man for a journey. You can choose whatever toy you've got. I'm going to start him off here at my stump, and I'm going to take him across my landscape, past the feather, to the end of my big stick. Now I need to mark that journey on my map. So I'm going to take a nice bright red pen so I can see what I'm doing, and I'm going to put a cross to show where he started on the stone. And then I'm going to use a dotted line to show the journey he took. So he went from my stone, past the feather, to the end of the big stick. And I'm going to draw another cross to show that's where he stopped. Now I'm going to continue my journey. So I think from here the little man's going to go along the end of the big stick. There we go, and stop at the other end. So again, I need to draw that journey on my map with a dotted line along the edge of the big stick and another cross to show where he stopped. Finally, I think my little man wants to go and see the giant pine cone. So there he goes, along the bottom of my landscape to finish there at the pine cone. And again, I'll use a dotted line to show that journey along the bottom of the landscape to stop at the pine cone. Now I think that's far enough for my little person, but you could make your toy's journey as long as you like. When you've finished, pass your map to a friend or grown-up and see if they can get their toy to follow the same journey.